I'll record to
No,
the
well,
computer.
I'd be really careful recording to the cloud.
Okay.
That's the biggest place that I've had issues,
Okay,
actually.
I recorded to my computer.
Sweet.
Not only gives you 2 weeks too, and then it goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give it back. Hold on. Why? Okay. Okay. So today, and this is not me talking at you for 2 hours. So everyone needs to put their videos on and take off your mute, because this is going to be, everyone is participating. But anyway, I am Ann Carlson, as most of you know, and I have been an agent with Keller Williams for really since the beginning of August. And I kind of started at that weird time. So I spent the first couple months really diving into digital marketing, and what that looks like in terms of the real estate world. And a little bit of background on me. I was president of a national cancer nonprofit for, let's see, 10 years prior. And I had offices in 45 cities, and I grew that from 13 cities to 45. And so digital marketing obviously was huge. Oh, wait, someone is trying to get in. Tim, you can get in. Digital marketing was huge because you can't be in 45 cities at the same time. So I just kind of wanted to share a little bit about that today, some takeaways, and then how we can all, kind of put some of these into effect in our own businesses. So first of all, I want to go around and I want to talk about building your brand. What does your brand look like? So I'm going to stop sharing for a second and I'm going to call on people, and I want you all to give me your elevator speech. Does everyone know what an elevator speech is? I'm assuming you do. So you have someone that jumped into the elevator and you have, I'll even give you 2 floors. So you have 2 floors to tell them whatever you want to share about you and your business. So let's see. First one, Brady, what's yours?
I don't really have one, nor have I really practiced this at all.
That's okay, off the cuff. Hey, Brady, I heard you're a real estate agent. Tell me a little bit about you.
Well, I've been in this business for a year now. I made a professional switch from professional golf, and it's kind of in my blood. My family, both my grandfathers were in real estate, and my father's been in construction for years and years and years. So I've been around.
I just got off. My floor is here. My floor, I don't know. I liked the golf thing though. That was really cool. So that could be part of your hook, but it just has to get tightened in. Let's see. Gary, tell me a little bit about yours.
Well, I am with Keller Williams First Realty Associates. I'm part of the A team with my partner, Sean Meyer, and we serve all of Northern Colorado. Is there any questions I can answer for you?
Love it. So that's perfect. Super succinct. Told us what you do, told us what areas you service. Boom, just got off the floor. You could hand me your card or follow up or do whatever there. Awesome. Melissa.
I'm Melissa. I am a realtor with Keller Williams. I am a Colorado native, so I'm really familiar with this whole area and passionate about helping first-time home buyers and investors really, especially to make their dreams come true.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, who else wants to go? And then we'll kind of dive in. How about Harry?
I'll go, Ann.
Go, Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle Kramer, and I am with Keller Williams Realty, and I am a connector of people. That's what I do, is I connect people, whether it's real estate, needing services, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
No, I like that because at least
driving.
you have and you have the beginning of it. And so it's just really practicing that. As much as we practice scripts, we really need to be practicing who we are and what our brand is. And honestly, Michelle really hit it on the head. What we're doing has nothing to do with real estate. We just happen to be selling real estate. But you could take all of these and apply them to selling shoes. It doesn't matter. But before you do any of that, you have to sell yourself. So who are you? Why are you in this? And what in the heck are you trying to do? So that's just a little bit to start to think about, your brand. What does that look like? And I know we talk a lot about value, and we need to really look at the value, our value proposition. What are we bringing to people? Michelle answered, talked about bringing people together. Well, that's huge, especially when you apply it to real estate, because you're bringing together buyers, sellers, people that, agents, really that collaboration is big. I don't want it on full screen. Can you guys see my screen still? Oh, you can't. Huh. How did that happen? I have like 5 screens. So it's got to be this one. Okay. Now can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So really working on, you guys, please jump in and ask questions. This is just me with some information. But really looking at that value proposition. What value do we bring? Do we even have a right to be in this business? Honestly, why do we deserve to exist? What hole is there to fill? There's over 2 million agents in the country. And honestly, we're competing with every single one of them, because not only are you competing with the ones that are in, Northern Colorado and Colorado, you're also competing with every single one for referrals. So why do you deserve to be here? Ricky, why do you deserve to be in business?
Oh, because I work hard for my clients, and I try to make sure that I can help them accomplish their goals and what they actually want.
Cool. Bruce, what about you? Bruce.
I help people make money.
I like
Say
that.
that again.
Why do you deserve to be in business?
Why do I deserve to be in business? Because I'm the best man for the job to help people build wealth through real estate.
I like that. So it's just all very, very, very succinct answers. And that's, I think, every day we have to tell ourselves why we deserve to be here. And if it's really your big why. And if you can't figure out your why, honestly, take a pause and figure it out. Because if you can't tell yourself your why and the value, it's really hard to tell a future client or a customer that. And it conveys then in your kind of nervousness or, kind of being unsure. And then why should a prospect buy what you're selling? Ed, why should I buy a pair of shoes from you? Ed. Hello? You there?
Part-time, I'm here, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll call in someone else. Harry,
Okay.
why should I buy a pair of shoes from you?
Because they're the best shoes. They're the most comfortable. And I own the market.
Beautiful. That tells me Harry knows what he's doing, and I'm going to buy a pair of shoes with him. Again, it really doesn't honestly matter what we're selling. This just happens to be real estate. And I think we also have to tell ourselves every day that I go into this, I'm very intentional about my business. This is my business. And you have to figure out how will you intentionally and being very predictable, transform prospects into leads, sales, and advocates. And we're going to kind of go into this exactly what an advocate is, because without advocates, we will not have future business. And it's really easy to, all we have is our reputations in this business, in any business, especially with our digital footprints. And we really, really have to have those advocates, and they can turn quickly. So any questions so far? It's so hard because I can't really see everybody.
Can you make the screen a little bigger?
Yeah,
Right now I just see it on like half the.
it's hard because then I can't see you guys. Hold on. There. Big? Good?
Yep.
Okay. So does everyone know kind of the whole customer journey? You know what? You guys are on mute. I see you guys on mute. Get off mute.
Please tell us.
So basically the first thing, and I know that people sit and say, and we're going to go over some stats. I don't like Facebook. I don't like social media. I don't like digital marketing. Well, you know what? You really have to look at your business plan, and this 100% has to be part of your business. And if you don't have the education on it, you really do need to go and find it, because there are old ways of doing things, there are current ways, and there are new ways. And if you don't want to jump on the bus and do the current way, the bus will leave you behind and it will shut the door. And those other 2 million agents that are out there that are adapting and pivoting and educating and learning they'll be on the bus and you won't. And that's it's a hard truth. But anyway, that's reality. So the first thing a customer needs to do is find you. And that's why it's at the top of the funnel. They have to be able to find you, whether it's, word of mouth, whether it's digitally, somehow they have to find you. And there's a reason I have my brand called That Colorado Life. Nobody knows my name. No one knows my name. No one is searching for Ann Carlson. So I needed to brand myself in something that had SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. I needed people to be searching something there, which I would pop up in. That's why I very, very, very strategically placed my name as That Colorado Life. And then I bought every domain to do with it. So they have to find you. And that's honestly the easiest and the hardest at the same time. Then they engage with you, and an engage could be LinkedIn, they're talking to you on there. It could be a like on Facebook, on Instagram. It could be, digitally through an ad. It's very passive. When they engage with you, it's just kind of passive. So now you're trying to get them to subscribe. You're trying to get them to click. You're trying to get them to call. You're trying to get them, whatever it is, you want any sort of clickbait with that. You're sending them maybe a newsletter. You want them to subscribe to the newsletter, whatever that is, you now need them to take an action. Does that make sense? Are there any questions so far? So you need them to take an action, because then your relationship will go further and further with them. This honestly, subscribe is the hardest thing that we have. It 100%. It's easy to get to people to engage, but it's hard to get them to click and part with their contact information. So everything that we put out there is to get, right? We want their phone number, we want their email, we want something to contact them so that we can start to provide them value. So we must have them subscribe. So that's the biggest thing. So then we have to do conversion. So then we have to, yeah. Oh, someone's talking. Does everyone know what conversion is? I mean, I know we talk about it a lot with real estate, but as it pertains to digital marketing, Erica, can you explain conversion?
Just turning a lead into a sale, or a cold lead into a hot lead.
Yeah, it's trying to get somebody to want to do business with you. So you've gotten them to subscribe, they've clicked the landing page, your lead magnet, but now you need to really have that conversation and have that appointment and get them to want to buy a house with you. And we all know that people do business with people they like, know, and trust. So up with this engage and subscribe, that's what you're trying to portray to them. Then they're going to get excited, right? And that's when as it pertains to real estate, you're going to put them on a search. You're going to talk to them about a CMA. You're really going to get them emotionally excited, because people get excited about money. They really do. So you're going to talk to them about that, and they're going to be excited. Then you have ascend, and ascend, I kind of look at it like a ladder. So the customer is typically when the customer comes in to find you, that's only once. They found you, right? They're there. they're engaged, they're there. But once they come down to conversion and excited and ascend, they can go in between. You have to keep them excited, right? So you have to keep providing value. And then they're going to ascend. They may purchase a house with you. And then they have to climb back up that ladder. You have to keep with those touch programs, keep with those drip campaigns, whatever it is, so that they keep going between excited and ascend, because you want referrals. You want the next house. You want their friends to buy from you. You want all of that. It is much easier and much cheaper for us to get business from people that we know and people we've already done business with than to go out and find new people. So that excited and ascend, I always just keep them kind of in between there. And I'm constantly trying to provide value with nothing in return. And that's, I think, the hardest thing. We think that we have to constantly be giving them information where they are going to part with their information. Well, I will provide them value and I don't want anything in return because I need to gain their trust. The next thing we have is advocate. So that's when people go out, and does everybody here with their clients or anyone they do business with always ask for reviews? Send out links for reviews? And it's always awkward, right? It's always super awkward. And you're like, it's not awkward for Bruce. I think it's awkward, but I don't really care. But I also will tell you, if you get a negative review out there, your digital footprint lives forever. It is really hard to get rid of anything online, as we all know. But you really want those people out there advocating for you. And that's unpaid. So that is people, hey, I just did business, with Brady. He sold my house. He got this. That person now is going to tell all of the people they know how great Brady is. Because Brady is also going to say, you know what? Will you tell your friends, here are my cards. Anyone that you know that wants to buy or sell or has any question, I'm just here to provide value. Have them reach out to me. Here's my contact info. And in the meantime, will you give me this review on Google, and also tell them that it's going to be literally shared everywhere, because you're going to scream from the rooftops now how wonderful you are and what a great experience you had. Because the advocates, they're your best cheerleaders. Then you have, at the very end, you have promote. And those are people. We live in a world, especially in the digital age, that we do have to collaborate. And that's, you can do, that's where influencers come in. You can do brands, you can do, like Bruce has a freebie that he just did, buy 4 houses with me, get your 5th commit, whatever it is. That's actually someone that comes into the promote. Those are like 2-for-1s. Not necessarily reducing your commission, but kind of like your frequent flyer program. That's where the promote comes in. And your goal is really to keep them with, move them from promote, excited, ascend, advocate, the whole thing. But I will tell you, one bad move in any of these can that client can be gone. And that's why everything that we do and say. So I'm a very quality, not quantity person, for that very reason, because I really do want to massage, sounds like a weird word, massage my people well and be able to spend the time with them so that I can keep them excited. I can get more referrals and kind of go for that. Does anyone have any questions kind of on the journey? Melissa, chime in.
How do you send a review, or how do you
So I typically do it. I find that HomeSnap is the easiest, and it's because it connects right with Google. You can do a deep dive and send a survey, totally up to you. A lot of people like to do that because then they can use bits and pieces, and then at the end you put the disclaimer. But I always say, don't ask for things in a survey that you're not willing to change, and don't ask for feedback you don't really want. So I sent it out last week, no, 2 days ago. I haven't gotten it back yet. And just ask for a review, but I tell them that it's gonna appear on social media as well.
And
It'll appear. Pardon?
HomeSnap does that for you.
So I love HomeSnap, but you can just do it on Google as well. You can do it through Google Business, through G Suite. And do you have that? Do you guys all have that? Yes, no?
Most people don't. I mean, unless you're paying for it. How much are you paying for it per month, Ann?
I pay for G Suite $19.
I'm sorry, not G Suite.
Oh, HomeSnap. I did a one-time fee for $49. And the reason I'm on HomeSnap is because my clients are on HomeSnap, and we'll kind of get into that in a second.
So let me tell you, before HomeSnap came about, what you had to do is you had to go into Google and basically claim your business.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can use that to grab your reviews and then have that pump right to Google. It's the easiest way I know, Brady, but she's not wrong. HomeSnap definitely goes through Google, but it's a paid for service. And so there's a little bit more SEO optimization to it. But if you don't want to pay for that, you can create your own business on Google, pump that out there. And as long as you can get a bunch of consistent reviews, it'll boost your SEO.
What about Yelp?
Yeah, Yelp's a good one, but for some reason it doesn't track well in real estate. When people use Yelp, they go a lot of times with, department stores, places to eat, places to visit. I'm with you. You can do it. I just haven't had too many people find me on Yelp, use Yelp. Not a lot of mega agents are pushing it. I think if we as a community pushed it more, where the general public would start to use it more, it would work. I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, and I think you also have to go where your clients are. So that's one question you have to ask. And a lot of them are on Google. And with HomeSnap, they make it easy because you have your own proprietary link that they use for reviews. But Bruce is right. You can also do it through your, it's called Google My Business. And you go through there, and you really want it because Google, since they pretty much own everything, it just auto-populates to everywhere as well.
So it would go on like Zillow?
Zillow's separate.
Okay.
And I'm not doing much with Zillow ever since they became a brokerage. I don't know. I'm sure you all got the lengthy email from them yesterday. But anyway, that's another conversation. Okay, so does anyone have any questions on the kind of the journey for a customer? And this is honestly, you guys, this is for every customer, whatever they're buying, looking at, purchasing throughout the world. The biggest issue everybody has is the very top, and that's the find you. So that goes back to building your brand. How are people going to find you? Because we all know how wonderful we are and the services that we have to offer. But if people can't find us, we can't give them those services and provide them value. So that's the big question mark here, is how are people going to find you? Okay, let me go to the next. Okay, this is the really fun part that everybody hates, but it goes back to we can't market to people unless we know who our customer is. Can everyone see the page? Because you guys are blocking. Okay, so we all have to develop a customer avatar. Has anyone done this before for any life that they've had? No? Yes, no. Okay. So do you all know what a customer avatar is? Okay. So a customer avatar, I actually have a picture of mine. I'm not going to show it to you. Who are you doing business with? We can all choose who we want to have as clients, right? And it's kind of like the, build it and they will come. We do kind of manifest that, but what's going to happen is once we develop our customer avatar, and it will take a while, and I will send out a worksheet that I have that kind of delineates everything to make it a little bit easier, then you have someone to market to. because we can't market to the world. We just can't do it. There's too many different people, too many different demographics, all of that. And there isn't one successful business out there that doesn't have avatars. Every time you guys walk into any store, visit anything online, you've already been pigeonholed. So we create avatars too. And I will tell you, do not create more than one avatar at a time until you've really figured out that first avatar. Then you can start to create the second one. Melissa, for example, Melissa, the first thing she said when she was talking about her brand was first-time home buyers. So Melissa might then really do a deep dive into what does that first-time home buyer look like? So big things to include into your avatar: goals and values, sources of information. What books are they reading? What online magazines? Are they print? Are they digital? Are they 80? Are they 20? Any sort of demographic information. Where do they live? Are they moving here? Do they already live here? Are they natives? Challenges and pain points. You have to know their pain points, because if you don't know their challenges and pain points, you can't help them with that. And you are here to provide value. So if you know what their pain points are, and I'll share my avatar with you just in my brain. And then what are their roles? What are their objections going to be? Is it price? Is it not knowing HOAs? What is it? So my avatar. It could be female, male, male. It is a couple. They make $225,000 together. They are currently renting. They're first-time home buyers, but they have a higher income. They're looking in between $600,000 and $750,000 for a house. They're not from Colorado. They do live in the metro area. They're active, so they're very outdoorsy, but not like Iron Men. They both work in the tech world. So they're very spreadsheet driven, yet they don't know what they don't know. So they don't know a lot about HOAs. Their monthly payment is really important to them. And that's where, when I work with them, I put together a spreadsheet of all of their expenses, property taxes, HOA, everything. They don't understand HOAs at all. And they do want to have kids within the next 5 years. But they're a little bit introverted, yet they do like going to events that are planned for them. They like to drink beer and wine, but they're not huge partiers. They see their house as kind of the hub, and they want to do entertaining more at home with a smaller social circle. So that's my avatar. Yeah.
So I'm just making sure my brain didn't miss something. When I see avatar in my mind, I think of an avatar like on Snapchat or the movies. Mm-hmm. But you're talking about basically a personality avatar.
Yep. And
it's not really a thing that you design. It's all in your head.
My avatar does have a photo too. Yes, you can make a photo of your avatar, and that would really just be, it's not like it's going to make it for you. You would make it. You would create it through stock photos. But everything that I market to, so every post I put out there, every blog post I write, and my entire website is geared to them. Now I have a secondary avatar too, but that's my first avatar. So every time I'm doing something, I think, and I've named them, it's androgynous, but it's Agency Alex. That's my avatar. So it's every time I post something, I think, would Alex want to go to this event? And now Alex doesn't have a gender. Would Alex want to do this? Would Alex like this house? How would Alex receive this information? And Alex's pain points are numbers. So it's very hard for them to understand the big picture. And so I always know that when I'm talking to Agency Alex or I'm putting information out there, it has to be so that they would understand it in terms of their spreadsheet, because it has to make sense numerically.
Okay, I'm tracking with you now. You had me absolutely lost on the avatar piece, but I got you.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to do. It's just a brain dump. And I will send you guys the worksheet, and there's a trillion of them out there, but it's really knowing who your customer is, because we are in a business that we easily want to be like shiny object squirrel and chase that and chase that and chase that. Well, you know what? We can't do it all. And so if we want to know what kind of clients that we want to attract and what kind of clients we want to work with, then we can really focus on that. But also what it lets us do is it lets us refer business that might not be right for us. And that's where we all have to use each other, because we all have different skill sets, and there's a trillion things that I am not good at, and clients that I'm not going to take every client, because you know what? I'm not going to be their best advocate, but you know what? I will find someone in this group that will be. And therefore I get to keep my name and reputation and my sanity, because to me, my sanity is worth more than a paycheck, and their best interest at heart. And I get to refer them out to someone that's, better suited for that. So for me, I kind of have blinders on in a silo when I'm working in my avatars. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay. But it is a really big thing. We have to know who our avatar is. And another thing I put in here, and it is so true, people don't buy products or services, they buy transformations. Like, think of why, let's see, Darby, why does someone buy new clothes?
I don't know. I hate shopping, but I'm assuming because they like to look good.
Yeah, they like to look good. They like how it might make them feel. Why, let's see, Gary, why does someone buy a gym membership?
Probably because they want to lose weight.
Yeah, they want to transform their body.
Right.
They're not doing it because they're buying the product of the gym, they're buying the end result. And it's the same that we provide. And the end result is whatever real estate service that we will provide down the road, it's the transformation in that, and it's the service that we provide. And it's really that value. Yeah.
Can I chime in for a second? I love these points because you're really making my brain think this morning. And I want to make sure that everybody kind of connects some of the dots that I'm connecting. When she says they buy transformations, it's the exact same bold law. Emotions make people act, right? That's what she's doing. Is she's creating an emotion. She's creating something that they want to transform themselves to. So emotions make people act. The other thing about this whole avatar thing, I was really lost there for a while, Andy. This whole avatar thing, I was really lost. And what you're saying is the same thing I tell people when I go out and I show them how to do an open house. You're putting a sign out on the road, not for you to see, but for the car to see. Mm-hmm. You're putting your ad out there for somebody who doesn't know real estate. It's a target audience. So whenever I see avatar now in Ann's slides, I'm thinking, who's my target audience? Yep. Who do I enjoy working with? Just like Melissa said, first-time home buyers. I'm the same way. I love relocation, first-time home buyers, and investors. Like, those are my primary things too. Those are my avatars. Whenever I do something, I want to capture those people. So I really like this, Ann. We're just using different words than we normally use, and so I just wanted to make sure people were connecting those dots too. This is awesome. Thank you.
Well, and I think that, look, I'm going to take Brady as example. Brady has a huge skill being a professional golfer. Okay. So there you have a huge niche. Right there you have a niche. I mean, that could just be one of your avatars. And you may all of a sudden in a month have 4 or 5 avatars, but you really do need to hone in on one. And my dad's always taught me this: go with your skills. I think as humans, as people, we think that we're supposed to develop everything. And a lot of people, we go with our weaknesses, trying to make them better. Go with your strengths. Life is,
Actually,
yeah.
it's funny that you mentioned that because like after my father-in-law was in town, we got to go see the TPC Berthoud area. I was like, wow, this could be like a huge thing for me. I already made a connection with the guy who's the developer there, and he's like, let's go out and play golf sometime. Like, let's go, you know, kind of shoot the shit. And I'm like, man, this could be, I
Mhm.
could use this to my advantage and help me, you know, grow my business. So it's definitely something that I've already kind of had the awareness to be like, okay, I can kind of utilize my skill set to help my business grow, and it wouldn't even necessarily feel like work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and,
that's
and, you know, I used to always tell managers and people, recognize your weaknesses, build on your strengths.
yes, exactly.
You
Yeah.
got to know what they are so you
Mhm.
don't screw those up every day. But boy, if you're good at something, be really good at it. 'Cause
Yep.
that's what people notice. They don't notice your weakness. They notice how good you are. You know, Brady, you might not be the greatest putter in the world, but because you're a professional golfer, people think you're just this wonderful golfer, right? But we know better. Bruce and I know better. But no, I'm just kidding.
Well, and it also
But my
goes
point-
back to,
You get my point to that is,
yeah. Well, and it's also for us. So I came across a golfer, you know, I mean, I haven't, but if I did, well, you know who I'm going to refer them to is Brady, because it's like, that is Brady's niche. And I know that he has researched it. He knows it inside and out, and Brady's getting the golfers. And you know what? Ann's going to get a big fat referral fee. And I am fine with that.
And so just to reiterate on that for Ann, what's that mean? Right? It means Brady has a connection with those people.
Mhm.
I don't care what anybody says. If you can make a connection, you will have those people because they'll go, yeah, Brady's a great guy, right? Because they know you're a golfer and they're a golfer, right? And so they'll go to you for some of those things. It's that connection that you can make with people. That's why when you meet with somebody, the first question you want to ask is something about them so that you can then make that connection, right? Whoa, you do motocross? That's cool. Yeah, I've done that. And then you start a conversation.
It's
Anyway.
our stories that connect us all. We are not in this business just to be digital robots. We are in this business to make, well, I hope we are, to make connections and make people's lives better. And that's where it all goes back to. All these slides are just one big loop. It all goes back to your brand and your why. So this is the avatar. And then we are going to jump into just different types of digital marketing. So we know in marketing, we've got print, and I'm not talking about print today. And we've got digital, and there are many types of digital marketing, and they are kind of cyclical. And this is what kind of we're talking about today. So
Hey, Ann.
yeah,
And can you pay attention to when somebody's trying to get in? When you're doing screen share, it'll just
Yeah.
flip up at the top. I've got 2 people said they tried to get
oh,
in.
I don't have anybody up there.
Well, they're probably out now. They're emailing me, so they're gonna probably be jumping back in. Just kind of keep an eye out for it.
Okay, it's so confusing because I have 3 screens. So
Well,
I'm
that's
like,
not my fault.
I know. Totally. First world problems. Okay. So the first thing that you have, and it's kind of like the chicken and the egg. And just so you guys know, none of this is to overwhelm any of you. And I know digital marketing can be overwhelming and we want to turn a blind eye to it, but we really can't. And it does need to do, you need to do a deep dive and put this in your business plans. So it's really the how are you going to do it and taking action on it and time blocking it into your day. Oh, I just admitted someone into the waiting room, from the waiting room. First thing is, well, for me, I start with my content. So my content is remember I go back to my avatar. What am I going to put out there? What do I want? Say Melissa talked about first-time home buyers. Well, you know what? That's a really good starting point for her to start writing articles, writing social media, finding information that would help do a video for first-time home buyers. Then you have your website. Then you have your SEO. You never put anything. I use Ubersuggest. I don't know who you guys use. But I never put anything on my blog, on my website, unless I've passed it through SEO, because no one will find you. So you have to use digital keywords. You have to really look at those searches, look at what's being inundated in the market, and look at those numbers, and then do your headlines, your keywords, and everything as a result of that. And then you have your social media. We're going to talk about that today. And then you have your email. An email blast, that can be your newsletter, that can be, hey, you've got buyer tags in Command, you're sending them out listings, you're sending them out tips and tricks. Maybe you're sending out, seller information, whatever that is. But that you really have to be thinking about every written word that you're putting out. And hopefully instead of written word, it'll be video. So does anyone have any questions on this? This is kind of this cycle.
Ann mentioned that she starts with content. Everybody should start with content. You don't
Yeah.
have content, you can't push it out.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so these are just some little stats. And I know people out there are reluctant for digital marketing. But here's kind of some reasons why you really do need to embrace it. In 2021, ad spend will reach $389 billion. Okay. Just in real estate alone. And I know everyone talks about, and we're going to talk about budgeting and things, but talking about what you're spending on your ads and what you're spending on those leads. Honestly, for me, I never look at what I'm spending per lead. That is the last thing I look at. Don't care. I don't care. $16 for Facebook and $116 for search. Does everyone know what search is? Search is how they're going to find you. Remember the top of the funnel? They have to find you because they can't do business with you unless they find you. That's the average spend that a real estate agent is spending right now for someone to find them is $116 per search.
So you're saying that's per person?
That's yep, that's to put your name out there. So the biggest thing you need to start looking at is what is your footprint? You know how I always joke like I Google myself all the time? Well, I really do. So you really want to look at your digital footprint, and you better have one out there. So what is your realtor.com profile looking like? What is your Iris? What is being populated from your Iris or your RE Colorado profile, right? Who is that? Does everybody know which profiles that populates automatically to? What is your so I did a Home Snap look like? Because Home Snap auto populates without you knowing it. You have about 20 profiles as a real estate agent that auto populate without you knowing it. So I suggest that you know every single one because your customers are on them. That's why you Google yourself. So here, and this is true. This is my favorite stat. Online activity begins with a search engine 93% of the time. So they're searching for you. So they need to be able to find you. And you need to control what's out there, and you need to know what's out there. Right now, 81% of my customers and clients, my users, are on mobile. You guys all need to know what percentage of your people are using mobile versus desktop. Ricky, do you know that? Do you know your percent? No.
Not a clue.
And the reason that you need to know that is because you need to know which platforms are responsive and which ones aren't. Does everyone know what responsive means?
So
Great.
Ann,
Yeah.
so go back real quick. How are you finding your percentage of mobile versus desktop?
Because
Where are you doing that?
for me, I find it on every single, so every profile that I have on there, on websites, Facebook advertising, everything, it always gives you a printout and analytics on how people are finding you. I actually have it down. So please tell me every single one of you has Google Analytics on your website at a bare minimum. Okay.
I have it on command, but it doesn't show that. So
Okay.
I don't. No,
Well, if you have a command website,
I do.
your KW website, Scott Leroy, email him. Scott Leroy will put Google Analytics on your website for you.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna email him because I do have it and it doesn't show anything. So
Okay, so once,
I'll email him.
I'm not bashing KW websites, but once I switched from KW to my own website on WordPress, I went from 0 to 3,000. So anyway, and you can actually have a website in WordPress for free, but that is besides the point. On my website, I know every day how people are coming in. So where'd they come from? Which pages they're spending time on? What's my bounce rate? What articles are they interested? And then I can track where they're going. And to me, I am all into data because I cannot, unlike print advertising, once something is printed, it's really hard to change. The beauty of digital marketing, you can change it in seconds. Like, you know how Bruce says you can do the live screen share and go through CMAs and your contracts with clients, your exclusive right to buy. You do the same thing with digital marketing. You can change it in seconds. You find that a picture on Facebook isn't performing that you have running in an ad, change it. So the pivot is so fast, and it's obviously more money. You're stretching your dollar. So you need to know about your mobile. Are people finding you on mobile? That's a big thing. Mobile ads, this is really interesting, drove over 162 billion phone calls in 2019. So that means that people, when they see your ad, they're not necessarily clicking on it, they're going to call you. And when people call you, they are taking action. And I know everyone is always so scared to put their phone number in an ad. They're going to find your phone number anyway. And you can also have a fake phone number if you want to. But anyway, that really goes to say, at least to me, put your phone number in an ad so they can call you. They want information. Sorry. I just went back. God, it's touchy. When they find you through a digital ad, they're going to go look you up online. And if you don't have a big online presence, do you think that they're going to want to do business? What do you guys do when you see something online? Do you go straight to the website of the store? Do you look the person up? Online dating. People go, they, meet them on Tinder, whatever, and then they go to try to find them on social media. And you're always like, if you can't find a digital footprint, you're like, oh, that's weird. So that's always a big thing. To me, you have to have a digital footprint, especially in real estate. Calls convert to revenue 10 to 15% or times more often than web leads. So phone calls are kind of king there. So that also goes to showing your ads. A lot of times we don't want to have them put in as much information because we're scared they're not going to do it. You know what? We shouldn't be scared that they're not going to do it. We should really only want the ones that are going to put in their phone numbers, because so that we can call them. I think that sometimes we've been trained to think quantity instead of quality. We really want those quality leads. And then this is why I'm always pushing Instagram, and I'll tell you why. I'm not a big Facebook fan, but Facebook owns Instagram. Instagram engagement is 58 times higher than Facebook. And that's a big one. And it's really easy to do Instagram. Okay. Social media. You have to figure out where your clients are. And I know from my avatar exactly where my clients are. Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. And does everyone use WhatsApp or know what WhatsApp is? It's a really good way to talk to international clients for free. It's basically a texting system. And then Google owns YouTube. So while we all need to have a YouTube presence, and like Bruce has a really good one, and Harry, it's expensive. YouTube ads are very expensive and Google ads are very expensive. So try in those areas to have as much free reach as you can. Bruce, you just came.
I take compliment for that. I just came what?
Oh, you just came off mute. I saw.
Oh yeah, no, I take compliment to that. I had a good presence on there. I do it for you guys. I don't even look at it.
No, you have a great presence, and that's huge. And I can teach you guys too. And there's tons of classes about it. But when you are using YouTube, don't pay for ads right now because they're too expensive. But start to use keywords when you're describing your video that you're putting in there, so people can find you. Because the goal is for people to find you.
I would like to sit down with you some more. My coach wants me to optimize that because he shares my training videos with the other coaching partners. And it is difficult for me to find my own videos sometimes. So I'd like to.
Yeah, it's really the keyword searches there. And then Pinterest. So I launched a Pinterest, and I've never Pinterest, and I'm not a scrapbooky Pinterest person, like at all. But my son is a fashion designer in New York, and he's like, you have to do a Pinterest. And I was like, oh God. I had 22,000 monthly followers within 2 weeks, monthly views within 2 weeks. No idea why, none. And I haven't done it in a while, and I'm down to 7,000 monthly viewers, and I don't do paid advertising on it. But it is primarily women, and the demographics are they make over $200,000 a year. So anyway, that's out there as a social media mechanism. Oh, and I just want to say one more thing on Pinterest. Many times builders, at least if you do have a profile on it, builders will do their design showrooms for the new builds in Pinterest. So that's where your clients can go and they can look at the tile and look at the carpet and the flooring and all of that. That's just a little FYI. So social media, I'm gonna move you guys. The goal is always to have it organic, right? The goal is really to have free reach, put things out there that want to be shared, want to be liked, want to go viral. I've had one thing go viral, and it was a barndominium post that I did, which was really weird. I was just looking at land, and within 24 hours, well, it was viral to me, but probably not to the rest of the world, but I had 11,000 views on it within like hours. And I have no idea why. But it was the keyword barndominium. So the goal is really to get free reach, to put content out there that people like. And again, you want to post relevant things, and that goes back to your avatar, right? To go to those people that you're really trying to attract. You're not trying to appeal to the world. You're not trying to appeal to every single person. You can't. You just can't. So you really have to have tunnel vision on there and think about when you're posting. The algorithms in Facebook, and remember, Facebook owns Instagram. So if you're going to post on Instagram, you have to post on Facebook. The more you post, the more they will show you. If you are someone that posts, and we'll talk about content calendars too. If you're someone that just posts like once a month or whatever, every couple weeks, something here and there, and you're not consistent, Facebook will not put you in people's feeds. You need to be friends with Facebook. You have to be. I sat on a task force in my last job, and then I got onto it again this year with the execs at Facebook, talking about algorithms and how they work and how they do ads. And that's why I do ads on Facebook. Anyway, so to do Facebook ads, you have to have an ad account through your business page. And if you don't have a business page with Facebook, I suggest you make one. Keep it separate from your personal. You can have people go over from your personal page to like and do all of that, but keep it separate.
Yeah, and when you talk about free, one of the best ways to do free is to join as many groups on Facebook that you can. Moms that shop in Greeley, moms that shop in Loveland, golfers and whatever. The more of those groups that you can do, the more you can set out free stuff to your people, right?
Yep. Value. Yeah.
Yep.
And remember, that's a really good point about the groups. You're not being intrusive. Well, they'll tell you if you are, and they've told me a few times, and that's okay. But I look at it as, because I do a weekly event newsletter, I'm providing them value. So, and a lot of times I get blocked and they don't let me see it. So I don't do it as often, but I'll post in all those groups, all the events going on. Okay. So does everyone here have a business manager account? Business account? Tell me you do. Okay. That's how you have to run ads through your business account. Can't do it through your personal. So then there's two types of audiences, and we're going to talk about those as well. Remember, it all goes back. Everything goes back. You want people to find you. You want them to find you. And the reason that I don't care about my price per ad, per lead, is because I care about impressions. I care about that find you. It's, for me, it's all about that. So we have two audiences. You have cold audiences. Cold audiences are people that do not know you. They are people out there that are trying to find Melissa. They are first-time home buyers, but they need to find Melissa so that Melissa can help them find the home of their dreams and help them through that first-time home buying process. So that's a cold audience. The second audience is, so Darby, you know how when you see that, you don't like to shop. Let's see, Erica, do you like to shop? So you know that pair of shoes that you saw once online, and then that pair of shoes follows you flipping everywhere, and you haven't bought them yet, and it pops up on every screen, and you're like, who is listening to me? How do they know that I'm looking at these shoes? That's retargeting. That is retargeting. And what that is that those are ads that are sent out. Those are called warm audiences. Those are people that already know you, right? They already know that pair of shoes. But you are going to pop up in everything that they see. I do 30 days, and I'll show you guys how to do it too. Every single person that is in my database, that has visited my website, looked at my Instagram, looked at my Facebook, engaged in any of my videos, they're going to see me for 30 days every single time until I drive them flipping insane. Just in January, I had 500,000 impressions on my retargeting ads. Just in Fort Collins, which I'm sure I drove them insane. I have people that call me, that will text me, and they're like, oh, I saw you out at the brewery. I'm like, no, you didn't. I was on your flipping phone. They have no idea why they saw me. And these are people, I'm not from here. I just moved here a little over a year ago. They don't even know me. So, and really to be effective with your audiences, that you always have to be bringing in new people and getting them to like and know you. And then you have to be always pointing to the people that know you as well. So those are cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do the retargeting?
I'm gonna show you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so just some social media takeaways. Set your schedule and stick to it. I do all of my social media. I do it about a week in advance, but I plan it all on an app called Later, Later. And I plan it out, and I post 7 days a week. And the reason I post 7 days a week is not to post 7 days a week, because I'll go higher in the algorithms. Figure out, have a deep dive into your business plan and what's right for you, how you can do that in manageable bites. I always equate it to kind of the person that's like, I'm not going to eat sugar now. I'm going to go off sugar cold turkey. And it's like, it doesn't really work that way, because a week later they're eating sugar again. Figure out what's going to work for you. Maybe it's starting with 2 days a week and really doing 2 days a week or 3 days a week or whatever it is, but do it. We all know those bloggers right around January, and they're all like, oh my God, I'm vegan, and I'm going to blog about being vegan 7 days a week, and it only lasts 2 weeks, and then they're gone. Don't be that person. Be consistent. I cannot tell you, it's consistent, and it is so boring. I do not like posting every day, and I love social media. I do it because it works. It's consistent, and It's part of my business plan. And it is a box that I check every day. Never copy anyone else. I know that it's like, oh my God, this person's doing this and this and this and this. Don't do it. Go be inspired by other people. But there is so much content out there for you. If you don't know what to blog about, God, go to Breakthrough Broker, go to NAR. There's so many stats out there. Blog about your dog, talk about anything, but because what you're trying to do is get people, again, want to do business with people they like, know, and trust. And you're really trying to get them to know that about you. Brady, every day you could post about different golf things. It doesn't have to be about real estate. And it really you should always follow the 80-20 rule when you are on social media. Post about real estate twice a week. So I do 7 days a week, 2 times a week, I post about real estate. That's it. Other than that, I try to provide value for them for free. The algorithms are your friend. They really are. The more you post, the more you use those keywords. And you guys, this is all available online. It's not rocket science. Really, the more you're going to be shown, the more you're going to be shown to your friends, all of that. And figure out where your people are. My customers are not on Facebook, period. I don't like Facebook. I only post on Facebook because they own Instagram and I have to. My customers are all on Instagram. And that's my bread and butter. I'm not socially involved on Facebook, but I post everything I post on Instagram. I post it on Facebook. And I do it all through later. Know your metrics. Your metrics are in everything. Darby, you can get them in the back of Facebook. You can go to, it's called Facebook Creator, and it's their publishing platform. And they literally tell you they tell you when your clients are online, where they came from, what they're doing, when to post, what to post, everything. So really, really, really know your metrics. Also, social media is social media for a reason. You have to be social. So you do have to DM people. I do 7 days a week. I reach out to 7 people I don't know and start conversations out of the blue. You have to be social. Don't just like people. You need to comment on them. You need to message them. Work it into your lead gen. I have it time blocked in my schedule every day. But you have to be social. You can't just post. And people love, just ask them questions, or hey, you want to do an Instagram takeover, or whatever it is. Start conversations just like you would in person. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit. Does everybody here do lead magnets, landing pages, all that kind of fun stuff? Okay, I'm just going to keep talking. It was funny. So this morning I said to my boyfriend, I was like, I don't know if I could talk for 2 hours. He's like, oh my God, you could literally talk nonstop for 8 hours. Anyway, fishing. So I love fly fishing, and I think I'm really good. I taught myself on YouTube last year. And so I kind of equate finding leads and going after people like fishing. So the biggest thing you have to think about is, what are you offering? Are you offering a home evaluation? Are you offering a listing that you have? Are you, whatever it is you're offering, figure that out first. So that's the first part of advertising. What are you offering? How will you make it enticing? So how is it going to be so enticing that Ricky is going to part with his contact information? What is it? You can't just put words out on a page. It has to be something that he's going to be like, I really want to know all of the farms in Northern Colorado that are for sale. So find the hook, the magnet, the call to action. What's that going to be? And every single time that you do an ad or a landing page, you have to go through this process. Build your landing page. Don't ever do an ad without a landing page, ever. Figure out what those landing pages are going to look like. There's many of them out there. You can use command, you can use listings to leads, you can create a landing page. And I have one in MailChimp. I got 900 signups for a newsletter that I ran ads on to get people to sign up for my newsletter. The biggest thing with your landing page, there's two big things.
Right.
What?
Oh, sorry.
Is your confirmation page. Your confirmation page, does everyone know what that is? Okay, so a confirmation page is, I ran an ad for every farm in Northern Colorado and Ricky signed up for it. So then what's my confirmation page going to say? My confirmation page is going to send him a link to the list of all of the farms available in Northern Colorado. So every time you have to have some sort of confirmation page, they are signing up for your newsletter. You're going to tell them what's going to happen next. Thanks, Melissa, for signing up for the, my newsletter. You can expect in your inbox next week, whatever it is. Or if you're going to call them about an ad, I'm going to get back to you right away. Whatever it is, build a confirmation page. And then please, 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 every single thing that you do ever on digital, test it. Test every link, sign up, put yourself as a contact in command, put yourself on the neighborhood nurture, put yourself in Iris as a client, every single thing. If you don't know what it's going to look like, you can't figure it out to a client and you can't figure out the glitch. Because if you have something running out there and there's a glitch in your landing page, you're just threw money out the window. And then you have to look at what's your follow-up going to be. Are they going to go in a drip campaign? Are you going to call them? Whatever it is. Are they going to be signed up for that newsletter? Are they going to get a list of all the farms? Whatever it is, you have to follow up with that. And then also you have to measure that. So I always put all of those people, I have 3 CRMs that I work in, but I'll put them in, say, command, and I'll mark off whatever that follow-up is. So that I know, so that I always have kind of know what's going on there. Okay. Do you guys want to do a deep dive into Facebook ads?
Yeah.
Okay. Woo. So exciting. Okay. So I'm going to share, I think. Hold on. I'm going to share Facebook Business Manager with you. Can everyone take themselves off mute? Does everybody here have a Facebook Business Manager account? An ad account?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does everyone here do Facebook ads? So is this being redundant?
I think people do them, but not the way that you do them.
Okay. Hold on. How come it's not? I can't get it to share that screen. Hold on. Oh, can you see my thing now? Yep. Okay. So you can all see my Facebook Business Manager, right?
Yes.
Okay. So super simple. So I have in my business plan, and I suggest everybody does this because unless we know our bottom line and what our expenses are, it's really hard to run your business. And we are running a business. It's not a business that Keller Williams owns. It's a business that you own. And we all have to remember that. So every month I have a budget of $300 for digital marketing. As you can see, last month, Anne went over her budget. She spent $400. And the reason is because something happened I think in January, people were just super excited to be back online. And I don't know if the rest of you saw this. So I had almost 500,000 impressions and I got tons of leads, just a lot of people out there that were hungry. So I made the decision to take half of my February money, some of my February money, and put it to January. As a result, I haven't done a lot of February ads, but that's okay. So this is kind of what it's going to look like. in your back end, and you have ads manager, your audiences, and your reporting. And Darby, this is where the reporting is huge. You can click on this and it'll tell you everything you've ever needed to know. The first thing that we are going to do, I'm not going to show you to build an ad right away. I'm going to show you about audiences, because we talked about those cold audiences. And then I'm going to talk about warm audiences. So those are those retargeting. Those are the people that have engaged with you. So they already found you, right? Which is the hardest part. They found you and they engaged with you. So now you need to convert them. And how you're going to convert them is you are going to keep getting in front of them and in front of them and in front of them. So you're going to retarget to them. And it is the easiest and least expensive way to do any sort of marketing. So you're going to go to audiences. And mine are already uploaded. So you guys are going to have to upload yourselves. But I'll kind of walk you through because it's been super slow. Okay. So I don't know why it's been so slow. Okay. So what you're going to do, and you guys can do this along with me or just pay attention, whatever. You're going to click create audience. For all of these except for 2, they will keep auto-populating. So you only need to do this once. And this is the main reason that I don't do command ads, because you cannot do retargeting in command. And retargeting is my main advertising. So you create an audience, and I do custom audience. So you click custom audience. And then all you're going to do is click the source that you're pulling from. If you're going to do a customer list, like download as a CSV, you're going to put it there. If you're going to do your website, you're going to do it there. And then you're just going to put in your website. Here, I can pretend I'm going to do it. So website, next. All of your websites have pixels on them. So those are the little background fairy dust that say who's been on your website and what are all of their, how are they finding you? Where are they coming from? How long are they spending? Everything about every single one of us, Gary. Okay, so I've got my website, okay? And you're gonna include people who meet any of the following criteria. There's also all, but I want any. This is my pixel for my website. All website visitors. There's also people who visited specific web, you can do whatever, but I want all because I want the most amount of people possible. And I'm going to do 30 days. I will tell you this auto populates to 365 days. If you retarget people for 365 days, they will unfollow you and never see you again. Most times for retargeting, they recommend 7 days, but I'm super annoying, so I do 30. And then you can include, you can exclude, and then you just name your audience. So I name it website retargeting, and then you create it. So it's pulling from that. So that's your first audience. Then you can do, so these are all my audiences. You can do your social media. You can do your Instagram account, okay? So you've got your Instagram account. And again, oh, see, well, I'm trying to move you guys. So it's got your Instagram. And if you don't see it here, just scroll down and it'll find it for you. Everyone who is engaged with your professional account, remember how I said it auto populates to 365? That's it. So you change that. And then I name it Instagram retargeting and then create audience. And it pulls right from that.
Hey, Ann.
Yeah.
For the Instagram ads, I'm assuming you have to make like a professional account to run the ads, right? Same thing as Facebook?
Facebook owns Instagram. So you only make ads in Facebook.
Right. But I know like on Instagram, you can make like a professional business account. Like, do you need to make that in order to run the ads?
Oh, to it. Yes. That's a really, no, it doesn't have to be a business one. I don't think so. Mine isn't any different. I just named it,
Gotcha.
but I don't know. That's a good question. I'll look that up and get back to you, whether or not it has to be a business. Well, you'd be able to know too, if you could go into your ads account manager and see if you could do a drop down. But you wouldn't want to add, you would never want to run ads to your personal account anyway. So then you're just going to do create audience. Let me tell you a caveat, and I will talk about video in a little bit. Video is king. Video views, you have to auto-populate, and you have to auto-populate as more people sign up to your CRM. Just put it in your brain every Monday, if you are going to do retargeting ads, to upload that database again. But I'll show you video. So you're going to do create audience. I love doing videos, but it's because I love to talk. Let's see. So you're going to hit video, Facebook sources video, and remember that's both your pages. You're going to click next, and it is going to show you, you have all of these options for video. So I always do the least amount, people who viewed at least 3 seconds of my video, okay? And then you have to choose the video. So you choose the videos. So every time you do another video, you have to click in, you have to add them again. And I try to do a minimum of 1 video a week. So every time someone look at them, then you have to add them back to your account. Does anyone have any questions on retargeting?
And what is your general audience that has like 230 million people in it?
That's probably just a saved audience I have. I don't really use it. I mean, I'll use it. I don't usually use saved audiences. It probably just got saved. My retargeting audience, I think, is about 8,000. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone? So you're going to go back to your business manager, and I'm just going to walk through super quickly how to create an ad in Facebook and how to pick those audiences. And then Melissa's going to go into command. So we're going to go into ads manager. And I do a lot of ads, so it's really messy. It should be more organized, but it's not. So I run 4 types of ads all the time. So my budget is $300 a month, $10 a day. And I divide that between 4 ads a day. So I run it between, I call them resident funnels, and that's me. That's about me. That's just providing value. I'm not asking them for anything. And then I will do, remember, we are in the age of Zillow and Realtor.com. So most people are entering the market as a buyer. So I do buyer ads. So I do buyer funnels. Even if they're a seller, they're still entering, their brain as a buyer because they're looking at what our home value is worth. What could they get for their home? Things like that. So I try to always have 2 ads, whether it's some listing or someone else's listing that I've gotten permission for, which are getting harder because they're selling so quickly, or it's virtual open houses. It's a list of one level townhomes. It's a list of homes between 200,000 and 500,000. It's $1 million properties. I don't care what it is. There's a trillion things out there that you can run ads on. So I'm always running 2 real estate and 2, I call them resident. And that's just kind of about me or my events. So here you go, you click create new campaign, and I keep moving you guys. So then you're gonna, I typically, depending on the ad, but for this one, we'll just do traffic. Sometimes I do engagement. And then, is someone texting? No. So hit traffic, name your ad. I'm just doing test. And then your ad set. Does everyone know how to do this? Am I like preaching to the choir? Test, continue. I don't do a lot of duplicate ads because hold on, someone have a chat? I have no idea. I don't have one for this business. I can't unmute because I'm at work.
Yeah, and I don't care what the choir knows and doesn't know. That's
Okay.
why we're recording this.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I don't do a lot of duplicate ads. I find them glitchy. So I always do ads from scratch. That's just my 2 cents. So you're going to name your campaign. Say it's 123 Main Street, whatever. Or let's call this a buyer ad. We've gotten to the point with Facebook, and this comes straight from their source, and it happened prior to the election. Even if you are talking about yourself, you are also a realtor, and so you have to go into special ad category. Even if you're not soliciting business, put yourself as special ad category. So even if it's just an ad on myself, talking about an event, I have a Valentine's event ad out right now, and I have it under real estate because they will always push back and tell me that it has to be housing. And I will also tell you, you are sending your ads to be reviewed, and these are actually reviewed by humans. They're not by a bunch of bots. You're not just sending them through the computer. It's a bunch of people in a room that are reviewing each of your ads, and they will approve them or unapprove them. It's always going to be auctioned out, your campaign details. All that means is they basically send it out and it's out on a bid system. Traffic, because that's my objective. And I'm not going to do anything here. Sorry, it's hard to do this with screen share. And then you just go in and you answer all the questions, and then you can start creating your ad. I'm going to drive the traffic to a website. Facebook is auto-populating the daily to $20. So always, always, always check your campaign. So you could just change that to 2 or 3 or whatever is in your budget. If you're $10 a day like me, you might just be like, hey, I'm just going to pop it in one ad and run that, whatever you want to. So I'm just going to put 2. Then you're going to do a start date. I do a lot of evergreen ads, which means that I don't have an end date. So I'll just have them running all the time. And then I have twice a month. The more an ad is shown, the higher it's going to go on the algorithm. And it takes 7 days for Facebook to figure out if people are going to like that ad. So do not go changing your ad in 2 days. So what I do is I put in my calendar certain dates that I go in and I check them twice a month. I look at metrics every day, but I look to see if I want to pivot, what I want to change, what my objectives are for the next, month. So I just keep that one evergreen. Remember we talked about the retargeting audiences? This is where they're going to come in. So this is where you're going to choose your audience. So you're going to go to saved audience. Actually, I'm just going to search. So when I search here, it pulls up all of these are all warm audiences. So I'm going to click all of them, every single one.
I would just add something to what Ann's doing. Is every time she does that ad, there should be something to the side that says, why am I doing this? And I'll give you an example. In the media business, we did it for eyeballs, right? So if we ran something, I might write next to it eyeballs. If I wanted some kind of response from a customer for a subscriber or whatever, if I wanted to get new subscribers, then I'd put subscriber base on it, or I would put new clients, new subscribers, whatever it was, so that I could then go back, because it's at the end of all this, when Ann does this, at some point, you got to sit down and figure out, did I spend this $10 and what did I get for that $10? If it was eyeballs and you got 10,000, then you won. If it was to get an appointment and you didn't get any appointments, and you have to reevaluate that ad, either change it or delete it at some point. Now you got to give it enough time, but you got to make those decisions as you keep moving forward, because you don't want to be doing them just to do them. There's got to be a point to them. Anyway, sorry, Ann.
No, you're fine. When you clicked housing, and you guys know this, you can't change any of the demographics. I do not change demographics anyway. I know that some people do a deep dive into other things that you can say for delivery, people wanting to buy a house, people with certain incomes. I do not do that. And the reason I don't is it makes it smaller. I want my ads, typically, like Harry just said, eyeballs. I'm all about eyeballs. I'm really not about the person that wants the list of farms. I'm eyeballs. I want their contact info so I can provide value so that down the road, they're not immediate clients for me. It's just marketing dollars for me. That's it, to get my name out. It's like I'm doing this instead of putting my face on the side of a bus. And that's how I look at it. I do automatic placements, and that's something that I switched to recently, and it's because Facebook's gotten a little bit better. I let them decide where they want to put my ad. I used to do manual, and then you would go through and decide, you know, the feeds, the stories, all of that. I let them decide that now. Maybe I'm just lazy, but it actually has been working better. And I don't do anything else here. Then I click next, and then you get to build your ad. Now know that if you've gotten good at posting and you've got some good posts that you put together, you can actually just take those from your Instagram page or your Facebook page. So here you go. So I've got my Facebook, right? And then it's going to take also my Instagram. So that means now that I'm going to take from, it's going to post to both of those pages. Then I'm going to set up my ad, and I could use an existing post. Facebook ads do not like text in the picture. 9 times out of 10, they will not approve your ad if you have text in the picture. I don't know why they view it as spammy. So I can go to my existing posts and hold on, I'm gonna move you guys over, and I can just pick one. I can go to Instagram, I can go wherever I want to go and pick an ad, pick a video. I typically create them myself, but that's a really quick, easy option, especially if you have one that really had a lot of likes or really kind of went viral. Do an ad on it and test it. So then you've got your pixel will auto-populate, and then all you're doing, well, I didn't make an ad, but if I did, I'd have the preview here, and then I would build my head here. Hold on. Let me just select one so you guys can see this real quick. Let's see.
While she's doing that, I'll just say one thing. So when she says eyeballs, mind share is market share. So what she's trying to develop is a mind share that everybody who thinks about Ann Carlson thinks about real estate. And when they want to sell their real estate, they're going to call Ann. That's what she's trying to develop with what she's showing you today.
So this is an ad I did this morning. I wrote it last night about outside living. And so it's this little shed. So I could run an ad on this. So what I would do, so it auto-populated, I selected it from my Instagram page. I need a call to action. You can't, to me, don't ever put anything out without a call to action. Whether it's get educated, learn, subscribe, sign up, I don't care what it is, but have a call to action. People need to know what to do and they need to be told. So you're going to put in your website. That's either going to be your landing page. That could be, for me, it could be my website, thatcoloradolife.com, whatever it is. And then you're going to click whatever button you want down there. And then you're going to write a headline. And a lot of people like emojis. There's really no like secret sauce to this. And there's a trillion articles written on it. You can put whatever you want in here. Some people put, red exclamation points and houses and all of that to get people's attention. In the media
business, we hire people to do headlines because that's the most important part of any ad. That's what people get attracted to.
I'm not good at it. I'm really bad at it. I'm going to hire a headline writer. So then just go through and make sure that everything is good and you test it. Like I had said before, see what it's going to look like in every single feed, change where needed, and you click the publish button and it's published. And well, actually it'll say it's in review and then they'll review it and then they'll get back to you typically within 2 hours to tell you if it's been accepted or not. I will tell you, if you view that your ad was wronged and not getting published and getting rejected, put it back for a review, but they will disable your account so quickly if they do not think that you're doing that in earnest. This is really a relationship. As much as people hate Facebook, it is a relationship that you have with them, and they're really trying to go after people that are breaking the rules over social and other issues. So do it in earnest. Check your ad, make sure that there was nothing wrong. That's why I literally put housing for everything, because at the end of the day, I'm an agent.
Don't use words like wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. It'll get
Alcohol.
rejected every time.
Alcohol.
Yep.
Don't show pictures. They don't love pictures of people. And don't show alcohol in any of your things. And they won't tell you why you're being rejected. They'll just say it is against discriminatory practices, and you're like, what is in there? But there's something in there. But they're taking away a lot of accounts, and then they'll freeze you for 30 days. And then you can't even do it through command. So don't get in Facebook jail, because remember, they own Instagram. So when you publish these ads, they're going to be shown on Facebook and Instagram. They're going to be shown in people's stories. I remember Ricky, when I started as an agent, he's like, God damn, I keep seeing you everywhere. I was like in his feed all the time, and it popped up in these ads. So that's a little bit how to do Facebook ads. Does anyone have any question? And then Melissa's going to do a how-to jumping into command ads.
And you said to do like a confirmation page. Where do you do that?
You build it when so you're not doing an ad. The ad is really the last thing that you're doing. The first thing, and that's when we talked about phishing, that's where you're creating that landing page. So whatever that's going to look like. Thanks for signing up. Hey, I'll give you a call, or here's a list of what you're looking for, or I'm going to call you on that listing, whatever it is.
So that's through your website specifically somewhere?
No, I have it on everything I do. So every single thing that someone can sign up for, I have a confirmation page.
And the confirmation page is basically the landing page that follows it up, right?
Yep. It's just I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do next. So you can expect me to call you now, or you can expect to get a newsletter sent to you next week, or here's the list of farms, or here's where you buy your mini horses, whatever it is. Whatever I'm selling, I'm going to tell them how they're going to be able to find now whatever I promised them in the ad.
Got it.
So that's kind of Facebook ads. Do you, Melissa, I'm going to share with you now.
Okay.
Stop share. Okay. So now Melissa's going to share.
Who's
right?
that?
Can you
Bruce?
share now?
Ann, are you host, or is Bruce host? Or is Harry host?
I put it so that you could.
Oh, now I can do it. Got it.
My side says Ann's still the host.
Okay, I'm just sharing my desktop, so I apologize. I have kind of a lot going on. So I'm just gonna go over command ads, and I think this is probably what most people use. Is that right? If you're doing Facebook ads?
Pretty much.
Okay, so this is probably quite redundant, but for the sake of everyone who's not here or maybe hasn't done Facebook ads, I'm just gonna go through it. So
Yes, please.
this obviously is command. So to run an ad, you just go to campaigns. And then up here you have paid ads. So these are all the ads that I do or I run. And Ann says that she doesn't look at her cost per lead, but I actually use that quite a bit to see if my ads are bad, if something might be wrong. And so for me, for example, In the last 2 weeks, I saw a huge drop or a huge increase in my cost per lead. So I went from like under $1 for 2 months to all of a sudden over $1 and then well over $1. And so I stopped all my ads because it seemed like something was wrong. And then I restarted them and I'm back to under $1 for most of mine. So for me, this is an important metric to see just if, I don't know what changed. If it was the new year, everyone decided to run Facebook ads. I don't know. But just so I could manage my costs a little bit. And so right now I have 3 ads running. All of my ads are for listings, but you can do ads for really anything. And if you have ways to get sellers, I would love to hear that because all mine are targeting buyers. But to do a new ad, you click up here, create a new campaign, and then social ad. And then here, I always do attract buyers. You can do the other ones. I don't know how it changes.
I do advertise listings. So I think because it is who you're targeting. So you're trying to target buyers. I always try to target listings. So I do advertise listings on everything I do, even if it's like a open house or anything. So I think it changes who it's targeting.
I would be curious, like, yeah, your metrics compared and who you're getting, because maybe that's it. And then you can choose where you want to run your campaign. Now, I'm not good like Anne, so I don't really use my Instagram, and I definitely do not use Twitter. I need to change that, but I run everything just to Facebook. So then you set up your ad. And then here is where you'll choose your listing. And you'll put in the property address. So I'll do one from an old ad. And then over here, this threw me off. You want to say show all listings unless you're advertising your own listing. I'm actually going to choose just one of these. I don't know what property this is. And then here's where you do your ad text. Now, you can do whatever you want here. At first, I was kind of creating my own and it was always different. But if you guys, can you see this screenshot? Anyone? Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So this I got from a video, and it's this video here, and I'll share the link with you guys. But this girl is getting consistently under 50 cents per lead off her ads, and she used all this ad text. So this is what I've been using as a template. So as you can see, it has like lots of icons and emojis and all of that. And then for the headline, it's just really simple. And then I don't give any information personally about like price. I try to keep the details to a minimum. So I give them a little hint about, what the best qualities of the house might be. And then if they want to learn more, then they have to click more and then put in their information. So I'm not going to go through all of that for this, but you would just fill in all of that information here. And then you can see over here what it's going to look like. And then save that. When you come down to add media, this is where you can actually add photos. So it pulls up all of the photos from the listing. If you had a different picture, you could do that yourself or a video. But typically I'll just choose whichever one I think is the most eye-catching. And I only run ads on properties that have some feature that really will draw in attention. So right now I'm doing one on a horse property that has amazing mountain views. Another one on just like a larger luxury home, and I can't remember. Oh, a really cool mountain property. So, and I always obviously get permission from the listing agents before I do that. And then of course there are the requirements on how you have to disclose agencies when you're doing the ads. But in any case, if this was the best picture, I would just choose that, and then you preview and crop.
Melissa, do you find that having, multiple pictures versus just one really good picture affects, how the ad performs? Because I've been playing around with that a little bit, up to 5 pictures down to just one photo. And I think, like, for me, just the one photo typically does better because then it doesn't take away some of the text that I put in there.
There are stats, Ricky. Number 1 is video. Number 2 is 3 pictures in a carousel. And number 3 is 1 photo.
Gotcha.
And I'm finding just one on command. So
Yeah.
I don't know the stats. I found that if you do more than 1 photo, they're less likely to click because they've already kind of seen a little bit of what
Yeah.
they want to see.
You've given
So
it
1 photo, and typically it's an exterior photo.
because they want to see the inside. So you're like making it enticing.
Yep. And I get really high conversions. I get about 70 leads per ad at $20.
Nice.
70 leads per ad?
That's a lot.
Damn, Darby. Excuse my language. Sorry. This is
No,
recorded.
and that's okay.
Because if you show them the inside, they're like, oh, I don't want those countertops. And I've already seen it. Do you show the outside even if it's ugly?
I don't run ads on if I can't find a good picture. So I guess that's up to you. If it had some cool interior picture, like a pool, but the outside was really ugly, then I would show that. But personally, I skim through all the listings until I find one that I can find a good picture for. Now, if it's an old listing, that's a different story. Like, you get what you get.
Yeah, and if it doesn't have a good exterior, then I'll pick like one decent interior of like either at the bedroom or the kitchen. But I'm with Melissa. I want a good exterior photo, decent at least. I mean, I have crappy properties in Edgewater I've done, but they're low price points. So I'll be like under 400 or something crazy like that. So then I get them on the price piece versus the picture piece. But again, don't give them too much info. Don't give them too many pictures. 1 photo typically is the only thing I'll do.
Yeah, and Darby has some awesome, I don't know if you record them, but Darby does awesome command classes. So she's really the expert in this. Oh, so you need to have your logo in here, which is going to take me forever to find. So we'll do a screenshot. And then down here is where you can select all of your landing pages. So this account is going through my business page on Facebook. And then here, I always use the lead generation form. I don't know if anyone else has had success with using a site or landing page, but this allows you to grab their information. I think if you sent them to a site or landing page, and I think maybe you do this, and then you require them to put their information in after a certain amount of time or something, then you
it's exactly the same as the Facebook one. It's just which form is going to pop up, but it appears exactly the same.
And then here you put in your destination URL that you want to take them to, and here is that call to action like Ann was talking about. I always do learn more. And then here, if you've set up your landing page through the consumer portion, then you can just select it here. So then that will take them directly to that page where, for me, I have the whole listing set up on there so they see all the pictures, all the details about it. And then here, the ad targeting, this is where I do things a lot differently than Ann, and I don't know if it's better or worse. Obviously, Ann gets tons of traffic, but I found that using the custom settings has worked better for me through command.
Mm-hmm.
Here, they actually just added this not too long ago, I think, the Target My Database.
So that's retargeting. So that's their first retarget. Yeah.
So you can add new audiences. And so I've done that. And then you can also create a custom audience. And so you'll choose where you want to basically draw a radius around. So I'm in Longmont. So typically I do Longmont, but if I have an ad that's for something further down south, I might do it for there as well. And you can change this. And I generally do 20 to 30 miles. But again, like if other people have better experience, then
Does this one let you, so when I do Facebook ones, I choose like 4 locations. Can you choose more than one location? And oh, okay.
just one. So if you wanted to do another one, you just have to run another ad.
Okay.
Yeah. And then here is where you can add or change interests. And this one's really interesting to me. And I think that there's a sweet spot in here. And to be honest, I haven't quite found it. But you have this really long list of all these different interests that people in Facebook might have. So what they might be searching for. And so you just want to go through here and select the ones that might be applicable. So if you're targeting first-time home buyers and that's really your audience, like maybe you want to look at these apartment ones, and then you'll get people to click and you might be able to talk to them about, you know, the advantages of owning versus renting. But this list is extremely long. I generally choose like 20 to 30 audiences, and you can see over here, it shows you what the audience size is. So you can just go through and, you know, save however many you want. And then this duration and budget is where you'll say when you want it to run, how long you want it to run for, and then what you want your budget to be. And it says down here what the total is and then the cost per day. So I was having a lot of success with 6-day ads and doing anywhere from like $3 to $6 per day. Right now, I did a 10-day ad and that actually is doing better. So Darby, I don't know if you have any insight into your ad length and if you've had more success with certain durations.
All right, I had to find my unmute. Yeah, so I've kind of played around with it. I did, you know, my budget is probably smaller than some. Like I'm not spending $300 a month. I literally want to spend $20 to maybe $30 an ad, depending on what it is. So if I'm doing an open house, I do spend $30. I do an open house ad. I started on Thursday. I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So 5 days. And the reason I do that is because even if they can't make the open house, at least they're clicking on the open house, then I could capture them and seeing what they're doing. So my open house ads, I do $30, 5 days. If I'm just doing, and like I said, I get pretty high leads. And then on my other ones, I do $20. Sometimes I'll do 7 days, but typically I keep it at that 5-day mark. Just because I get a higher turnaround. And I'll do those ones for $20. So if I'm advertising somebody else's listing, I only do $20, 5 days. If it's my listing, obviously I'll up that, and if it's my open house, then I'll do $30, 5 days. But it seems like 5 days, top 7 days is that sweet spot. After that, they drop down pretty dramatically, so.
And one thing that Anne touched on and that I've found to be true is if you start running an ad, especially if you're brand new, you haven't run ads before, give it some time to like season. If you kill it right away, I feel like you're just never going to really take off with ads. You have to like give them some time. So just play around with it.
I'll agree with that, Melissa. I think if you're new at ads, $10, 10 days, play with it, figure out your rhythm, figure out what's working, what's not working. Don't spend more than that. Do the $10. You have to do 10 days if you do $10 because that's the minimum. But play with your algorithms and see what's working for you and not working for you before you dump a lot of money. I literally spent probably 2-3 months playing with it before I really started throwing money down on it.
Melissa,
Yep.
just taking a quick step back when you were talking about the interests and custom fields and stuff for that, I believe, Bruce, if I remember correctly, you sent out like an email with like a whole list of pretty relevant ones to real estate a while back. And if not, they're all on that video that Melissa showed. The girl in the video pulls up like a list of a bunch of them that are real estate related that you can just copy and paste from, which pretty much is what I do every time.
And the reason I don't do it on Facebook is it makes your audience smaller. Command is different. Command is a proprietary CRM set up as a third-party website for Facebook. So it's different, but if you're doing it on Facebook Business Manager, it makes your audience smaller. Here, it makes your audience larger. So different.
And I'll say that it seems like they change the different interests in the drop down. So, you know, that list that was in the video, I found that some of those aren't there anymore and they've added some new ones. So just take a peek at it every once in a while. But does anyone have any other questions with this part? Creating the ad. Okay. So one other thing I want to show you guys is I had a lot of success with running the same listing over and over and over, like hundreds of leads off of one listing. And some people say not to do that, and that might have been why my leads all of a sudden dropped off, is because I just did it for too long. But in any case, if you did want to use the same listing, so if I wanted to do another one off this Snowtop Drive, you can go here and you can duplicate your listing, and then you can either just duplicate it and run it, which means I don't want to make any changes at all, or you can customize it. So if you wanted to make some small tweaks to it, so it's a really quick way to be able to use that same thing. Up here, you can also see your different metrics. So you can do the lifetime, see how much you've spent overall, all those things. So I feel like there's a lot of information here, and it really allows you to see what works and what doesn't. Do I need to go over making the landing page for these, Bruce? Yeah, okay. So like I said, when someone clicks learn more and they put in their information, I always send them to a landing page, just like Anne was saying. And so to do that, you go to consumer, you create a new page. And as you can see here, like these are, I actually don't shut them down after my ad runs. You could, I just don't. So these are all on, and these are for all the listings that I've run them for. And then you do create new page. You can either put it on your website so it's always there, but I just do it as a landing page. And it brings you here, and you can do whatever you want to do with this. I keep mine really simple. So I would put the address up here, whatever it is, so I can tell when I'm looking through my list. Then I do a branded header. I put in the listing. Sometimes I will put download my app, but I've never had someone actually do that. So generally I just do the legal footer, and I put it in the wrong spot.
I have had like 3 people download my app, Melissa.
Really?
So keep trying.
Never had anyone do that.
I had one.
So put it in, you might get something. Okay. Let's see. I struggle with this. I don't know if I'm the only one.
I find when you delete that little bar, it works a little better.
Anywho, so you put in your legal footer. Let's pretend it's there. There, okay. Now it's there. And then you do configure widgets. So in the branded header up here, I'll put whatever the address is. My phone number is formatted incorrectly, so I have to change that every time. And that's all I do there. So I save and apply, and you'll see that shows up here. And then, let's see. Then if I go to the next one over here, you can browse the listings. So let's just say that this was the ad I ran it for. This would match, obviously, the address that I used on the other one. I just don't recall what that was. And then you can apply that. To be honest, I think I use the wrong browser, so this is super glitchy. So sometimes the photo doesn't show up here, but this time it did. And then you can see that, we'll save this. And then the last one is just the footer, which I don't change anything on, but you could. So then you can go through, let me see if I can scroll down. Okay. And then it has all the information about the property. So I don't think this one actually had multiple pictures, but if it did, you'd be able to scroll through all of the pictures. It shows what the status is, the price, just everything you would see in a normal listing. And then you will publish your page, and everyone will then be able to go to this site and see it. So you can also save that URL. You could just copy this and put it anywhere. So if we want to look at this one that I did, here's a live one. So this is what people see. And this is what I mean about the glitchy part. There should be a picture right there. But if you come down here, you can scroll through all the pictures and see everything about it. So this is what people see when they actually click on that landing page. Does anyone have any questions about this part?
Melissa, I would just say, I guess not really a question, but for everybody, if you haven't done the like 66-day command challenge,
Do it.
basically if you do the first 7 days, it'll show you how to do all this in a lot more detail. And obviously then you can just go pause the video, go back, or you can rewatch this video. But that's another good resource if you're just like, okay, this is a lot of information, but I want to go back and do everything that Melissa just did. That's in those videos on YouTube too.
Yeah, and those have tidbits on everything, like things you would never even think existed. So those are awesome.
And remember, a couple things we talked about is people, once they find you through an ad, they want to call you. So really doing, and that's an action item for me as well, making that phone number stick out. So that'd be a big thing to add. And also have a digital footprint, because they will look you up. They will try and find you online.
One thing I do on the bottom of my landing pages, I don't know, Melissa, if you said this, but I'll put like contact info part for them again, because sometimes when they originally put into your ad, sometimes you do get things like eye cream and eye cream at .com. And so I'll put that secondary piece, because every now and then they'll be like, oh shoot, I really do want them to contact me. And so then that's a good opportunity for them to correct their information. So that's a little tip too, because believe it or not, people lie when they first get on, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shoot, now I really did need in there. So it gives them that opportunity to correct that. So but
yeah,
definitely
customize those landing pages however you want, and make them like really awesome. I keep mine so basic, but like,
yeah, but
it can do like add so many different widgets and make them really stand out, get people's contact information, get them to engage. And I'm sure there are way more things you can do with it than I understand.
Don't run an ad without a landing page though, because I've done that before, and I will tell you, you will have a lot of angry people.
You get angry people, yeah. Even when you have a landing page, people just don't want to put in their information, and they'll write some comments about it. So it's just part of the game.
You know what? Our job is to get qualified leads. We don't want the leads that aren't going to part with their info anyway.
Yeah.
We don't mind window shoppers, because they just got another touch with you. You know, they saw you.
So I just want to share this link. This transformed the way I did Facebook ads. So I will put it in the chat, but for anyone who is watching this, I don't think you can see the chat. But just type this in the 28 cents per lead, and you'll get this video. And this, when I first started doing ads, I was at like $5 per lead, like $2, just way north of $1. I watched this and I was under 50 cents, or definitely under $1 for most of my ads. So let me figure out how to chat. And I'll share this with you guys if you haven't seen it. It basically goes through what I went through today, but she's just really awesome. And I think it's a good model to follow, though. Putting your phone number in there might be a good way to boost that. Just, I don't know, making little tweaks. So anyways, does anyone have any question on the command side? All right.
Right. Okay, so folks, we're past the 11 o'clock hour. Any questions for Ann or Melissa, before we call it a day?
Can you guys just put your maybe numbers in the chat? That way, if anyone has follow-up questions, we can message you directly.
I was gonna chime, when you guys do these ads, it's super important you guys have some kind of Facebook follow-up plan, like a smart plan set up. Because that way, right through the Kelly app, as soon as I call them, all I have to do is quickly tag them and they're on a Facebook follow-up plan. And it is awesome and it really saved a lot of time. It took some time in the beginning to kind of create it and customize it, but it really is huge. So make sure that it's kind of a 3-part thing if you're running ads.
100%. Exactly. You have to have follow-up, otherwise.
You don't have a follow-up,
What good
what's
is
the
it?
point? You don't have a follow-up, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we're here for, to get leads.
Well, if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Melissa is like the queen of command, and Darby. But seriously, look at your digital footprint and put some time into it. It's our business and it's how people find us. And it's also nurturing leads at scale. You can reach, 500,000 people and you can knock on 10 doors. So, just kind of look at your business. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, I think you're the host, Ann, so you have to cancel the meeting.
And
Okay,
Ann just
bye.
shared the link, so I don't know if anyone wants to grab it. I accidentally sent it to Bruce.